Hey everyone, I'm Tom Pounder, one of the student ministers here at New Life Christian Church, and welcome to nStudents Live. Hey, nStudents Live happens every single week, and you can watch it live on Sunday mornings at 11 o'clock at the End Zone. However, what you're experiencing right now is the nStudents Live, the abbreviated version on YouTube. And so we're really glad you're here. We've got a fun game to play together. We've got a great few songs to sing together, and we've got a message about Jesus that we'd love for you to listen to and be encouraged by, about knowing who Jesus really is and what he means for us today. Now, listen, we're going to get ready to play the game real quick. And as we're playing this game, it's a caption contest. So we want you to actually participate in it. So as TJ is looking at the caption, I want you to type in the chat room what you think is the best caption for this picture we're going to show up on the screen. So you can play, even though you aren't there. We want to be playing with you because we're going to be watching with you, we're going to be talking with you, and we're going to be in the chat room with you. So we want you to be playing as well. So, all right, we're ready to begin nStudents Live. We hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you right after the message.
Okay, so the idea is to come up with the best caption in the, now we say chat, but because this is supposed to be for Zoom, but we're just going to raise your hand, come up with the best caption for each picture, and we will see who the team that wins is. So I'm going to need some judges. You guys can help me judge. All right, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, you come up with the best caption. That's the idea. I'm going to show you weird and obscure and obnoxious pictures. You come up with a really witty, awesome, amazing caption to say underneath it. You remember doing this?
Remember Billy Bob Joe eating dinner?
Yes, that's right. Exactly. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead. Here's our first picture.
Oh. Oh, that's kind of scary.
Oh,
I don't
oh.
want to guess.
Someone come up with a caption. Yes.
I really want to.
Hashtag Kangaroo Jack. That's pretty good. Anyone? Anyone? I was kind of thinking like, you want more of this? Or something like that. But, all right, let's go to our next picture. What's our next picture? I'm not going to tell you what my caption is in my head. Let's go with Emma first. The ugly duckling. That definitely is one. Oh, yeah. Ooh, good observant.
Helping the old lady cross the road.
Helping the old lady. We're not sure which one is the old lady. Helping the old lady. All right. I was kind of thinking like, duck. Because it's. All right. That one's kind of a tie. So, all right, let's go to the next picture. Nice. Traumatized from seeing a fallen comrade. That's pretty good. I don't know. Okay. All right. Let's get to the next one. There's another couple that are really good with this one.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can die.
I can. That's actually good. I believe I can die. That's good.
I actually think that
When your teacher gives you homework on the weekend. That's good too. When I saw that, I was like, 2020, I'm out. Let's do another one. Facebook moms. You know that's on the recording. Your mother's going to see. Okay, anyway, Facebook moms. That's a good one. Okay, all right, next one. Oh, me walking in the kitchen at 3 a.m. Nice. What was yours?
Don't touch my ankle.
Oh, that's good. Don't touch my acorns. All right, next one. That's awkward. I don't know what to do about that
That's
one.
like girls at a sleepover. They go to something they can really picture.
Girls in a sleepover, except they're apes. But that's very funny. Girls in a sleepover. So that's 4. I think you're right. Girls in a sleepover. Gone wrong. Okay.
One is so cute. That seems like
Angus Deppa 3. Exactly.
So this is a pug. That's not a pug. It's
Somebody else? Someone over here? Knox.
Go.
How's your cosplay? Turns out. Nice. Anyone from over here?
Why did my owner do this?
Why? I think just why? That's a good caption. Why? Nope, that's it. I lost track. I think it's 4-4. 5-5. All right, it's a tie. 5-5. Awesome. Very good.
I stand before you now. The greatness of your now. I have heard of the majesty and wonder of you, King of heaven. In humility I bow as your love, and wave after wave crashes over me, crashes over me. For you are for us, you are not against us. Champion of heaven, you made a way for all to enter in. I have heard you call my name. I have heard a song of love that you sing. Oh, so I will let you call me out beyond the shore into your grace. Oh, your grace as your love, in wave after wave crashes over me, crashes over me. For you are for us, you are not against us. Champion of heaven, you made a way for all to enter into your love, in wave after wave crashes over me, crashes over me. For you are for us, you are not against us. Champion of heaven, you made a way for all to enter in. You make me brave, you make me brave. You call me out beyond the shore into the waves. You make me brave, you make me brave. No fear can hinder now the love that made a way. You make me brave, you make me brave. You call me out beyond the shore into the waves. You make me brave, you make me brave. No fear can hinder now the love that made a way.
Maybe? Is that better? Can you hear me a little better? Okay, good. Excellent. So, and really, because I could talk to this side of the crowd, but it actually, with the little microphone, it actually helps to pick up on the laptop, so, or on the recording. Anyway. Hey, I've got a question for you. I got a question. Here's the question. You ready? I need a pair of glasses, though, because I can't read, because I'm old. Okay. Have you ever caught somebody doing something not very good? Have you ever caught somebody doing something not very good? Anybody ever? Yes? Yes? Anybody want to tell a story about catching somebody doing something? Nobody here, right? You don't want to, okay. What's, yeah.
Okay, so at my school before like so the girls would they would get on top of the stall and they would hide their babes inside the house.
That's not good. Not good. So, what if, yeah, did you bust them?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Good for you. That's,
I didn't know.
oh good, that's really good. Nobody tell on her. She was saying there were some girls at her school that were vaping in the bathroom, which is against rules, only slightly, and she walks in and was like, yeah, and then she walks out. Good. Well, good on you. You know, I'm glad that, you know, they didn't know, because it's kind of bad. But still, I mean, you shouldn't be doing, anybody else, bust somebody doing something kind of bad. Dylan.
So this kid at my school,
Uh-huh.
we were like in it. I believe it was in the morning. And somebody from my brand gym set off the fire.
Oh.
Was it on purpose? Yeah.
Oh, not good. Because as soon as that alarm goes off, those fire people have to come. They absolutely have to come, and everybody runs down. And yeah, that's not good. Not good. Okay, all right, now I got another question. Are you ready? This was a little closer to home. Have any of you ever been busted for doing something? Where someone like walks in and you're like, anybody? Anybody ever had that happen to you? Yeah? Anybody want to tell me a story? Just between you and me, nobody else can hear. Except I'll probably repeat it for the recording, but anyone want to tell a story? Anybody? No? No? Okay, it's okay, because that's a little close to home. But, you remember what that feels like? To like totally get busted. And you don't know, because you've never done a thing wrong. Michael, I have news for you. I will talk to your mother, and I will find out the truth. No, yeah, you remember that feeling when you like, all of a sudden you're like, "Arr!" You know, get caught in a lie. Or, yeah, you're about to get raped, or you get caught doing something that you were told never to do, or whatever, yeah. Anyway, so, story time. When I was going through graduate school, I was in Chicago, in the suburbs of Chicago, and I was married at the time. I still am married to the same woman. Anyway, so we were married, and we had our first child, and he was about 18, maybe 2 years old, 18 months to 2 years old. He was really little, but he was old enough that he could climb up on the couch. And behind the couch in our apartment, we lived in the upstairs of this older lady's house, and it was really awesome. But behind the couch, there was this big bay window. It was beautiful. We loved it. And behind, right in the sill of the window I put plants because they need light. And so I had these jade plants. Have you guys ever seen a jade plant? It's like this, it's got thick, they call it a succulent. It's basically a cactus kind of type plant. They can go without water for a really long period of time, and they have these leaves that are about like that, about that size, maybe a little bit smaller, but they're kind of teardrop shaped, and they're real thick, and not really, a little squishy, but they're real thick, and they're just filled with moisture and nutrients. And so a jade plant grows these, and if you water it regularly, the jade plant will grow really nicely, but it can also survive in drought conditions too. So anyway, so I had these jade plants set on a ledge behind the couch, okay? So my eldest son, we didn't have the younger one yet. We hadn't had Tiny yet, so, but my oldest son, I was, in school, and so I had long periods of time where I didn't have to go to school, and I was working at the time. I washed windows, which is actually a great job. I love that job. Made a lot of money doing that job, but I was off, and I was like between classes and everything, and so I was at home, and I had JJ, and it was just my wife was working, and so I was doing the dishes. And the way this apartment was like this, long and narrow, there's the kitchen, then the living room, and then the bedroom, and here's where that bay window is, okay? Right there. So I was in the kitchen, just inside the door right there, and I was doing dishes. So, and JJ was in the room playing, doing something, I don't know what he was doing. But I don't know, have you guys ever babysat before? Anybody babysat like a little brother or a little sister or somebody else's kid? Okay, if you've ever babysat, then you know. When it gets quiet. When it gets quiet.
You should run out of the house.
Yeah, you should like run. Yeah, when it gets quiet, either they're passed out and asleep, or they're doing something that they're not supposed to. So I'm washing dishes, and he's over there doing whatever he was doing. I don't know, eating the carpet or something. So anyway, all of a sudden I'm washing, and I just notice it gets quiet in the other room. And so I saw it just stop washing dishes, grabbed a towel, kind of started wiping my hand, and the door was like right next to the sink. I just popped my head around the door, and I looked in the room. And JJ had stopped playing with whatever he was playing with, and he had climbed up on the couch, and he was on the couch, like leaning against the back of the couch, and he was up in my jade plant, pulling leaves off my jade plant, or he's about to. And I lean in and I go, JJ, no. JJ, no, do not. He's 18 months old. He understands the word no. He also understands the word yes, which is his normal mode. Everything is yes, until you get told no, right? So I said no. And so he's like, oh, okay. And then he turned around and sat down on the couch. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I go back to washing dishes, and then he just starts playing, la, la, la. And all of a sudden I hear it quiet again. Again, pop my head around. He's up against the back of the couch, reaching for the dumb jade plant again. I'm like, JJ, no. And at that point, number 2 time, then he gets a little reminder on he's got padding, he's got a big old fat diaper, and I'm a bad dad, so it was probably all full of pee. So it's like this big. And so I come out and I climb over the gate, and then I come over and JJ, no. I take him down to the ground, and I go, boop, just a little pat on the head. Oh. And so then and I go back to finishing the dishes, and I'm drying and whatever, and all of a sudden it gets quiet. Doggone it. And so I turn my head around the corner, belly into the bag and he's got jade leaves. They're thick and heavy, He's got one in each hand and one in his mouth, and he's doing. It's horrible. I don't know why. So whatever. I jump over the gate again. I come over there. JJ, no. And I grab the one. I grabbed the jade leaf out of his one hand, and I open his mouth, and he's like, yeah, yucky, no. And I kind of gave him a little swat on the hand just to tell him, yeah, Daddy means business. He looks up at me, and I got the one out of his one hand, and I got it out of his mouth. He's got green running out of his mouth. And he looks up at me, and he goes like this. He had one in his other hand. Punk. No! He got a little more than a little on the padding that time. I don't know what he does. That's all. All I remember was inside, I was laughing hysterically because it was so funny. He's like, stuck in. It can't taste good. But he had to have jade plant leaves. I don't know why. Anyway. It's one of my favorite memories of JJ when he was growing up, was that situation. And so he doesn't eat jade plants anymore. No, he likes hamburgers. And so anyway, so he's got over it. But that was so funny. But I just remember peeking around the corner and just totally busting him in the middle of doing something that he was not supposed to do, and he knew he was not supposed to do it, and he did it anyway, right in front of me. Anyway, Today we're going to talk about a situation where in the Bible, in the New Testament, we've been talking about who is Jesus, who is he? And we've been talking about stories that, and last week you guys remember, Tom talked about, these aren't just myths or legends. These are actually situations that actually happened with a real guy. And Tom talked about the fact that we actually know that this Bible is actually true based on the proofs, the things that people have dug up, anyway. The only thing you're going to go, parents are going to call Tom. I heard he said something about dung on the Bible. You guys know what dung is? Anyway. So, they dug stuff up. They found literally copies and manuscripts and stuff that are like the copy of the Bible. So it's like, actually, this is proof that this actually, some guy didn't just write this, or a bunch of people just didn't create this out of nothing. But that's what Tom was talking about last week. So anyway, but this is an actual story that happened with Jesus. He was in Jerusalem, in the capital city, and it was probably a holiday or something like that. He was in the temple and he was doing teaching and stuff like that. Well, these religious leaders, and you guys have heard us talk about religious leaders. Some of them were good and they were really seeking after God, but many were evil, really, and selfish, and prideful, and arrogant, and self-righteous, and they were looking for ways to trip Jesus up. And so, I don't know how, they storm into the temple courtyards with this woman, this lady. Perhaps not much of a lady. They storm into the temple courts with this woman that they had caught committing adultery. What's that? Well, we don't know that. That's where some history and some myths and other things. Some people actually think that it was, and it could have been Mary Magdalene, actually, but she was caught in the middle of doing the act of adultery, which is basically having sex with somebody who's not your spouse, and they haul her in front of Jesus, and they toss her down onto the ground, and it's like this circle that surrounds Jesus and this woman. And I just see it in my head where these Pharisees and religious leaders are just create this circle, and they're sneering and they're looking to catch Jesus in something. The story is actually found in John chapter 8. I'm going to read it, at least part of it. John chapter 8, right at the beginning. At dawn, Jesus appeared again in the temple courts where all of the people gathered around him, and he sat down and he taught them. The teachers of the law and the Pharisees brought a woman caught in adultery. They made her stand before the group, which, y'all have been busted doing something. I can't imagine how. Well, I'm going to get to that actually. They made her stand before the group, and they said to Jesus with this little sneer and a snicker kind of behind their masks. I don't know. They probably didn't wear masks. Anyway, but they say, "Teacher, this woman was caught in the act of adultery. In the law of Moses, Moses commanded us to stone or kill such a woman. Now, what do you say?" They were using this question as a trap in order to have a basis on which to accuse him. One of the reasons I love Jesus is because he is absolutely brilliant. And even as a human being, he sees behind what is in front of him at the surface, and he totally understands everything that's going around in the background and in the people's hearts that are all behind what you can actually see or touch. I love that about Jesus. And so this is amazing. He sits there, Jesus just basically stoops down, and I badly want to know what it was that he draw or wrote in the sand. But he kneels down and he starts, I don't know, maybe he had a stick or he was using his finger. He was doing something in the dirt. He was drawing something. Some people think that he was literally writing those guys' names and the sins that they were committing. Some people think that. I don't know. He might have been drawing smiley faces. I don't know. But whatever it was, he starts drawing in the sand or in the dirt. But Jesus bent down and he started to write on the ground with his finger. Oh, sorry, no stick, with his finger. Then they kept questioning him, and he straightened up again, and he said to them, "Let anyone who is without sin be the first to throw a stone," to stone her. And then again, he stooped down and he wrote in the sand, or in the ground. And it says, at that, those who had brought this woman, they began to go away, one at a time. The oldest ones first, and then until the older first, and then the younger, until only Jesus was left with the woman standing there. And Jesus straightened up, and he asked her, "Woman, where are they? Where are they? Has no one condemned you?" In other words, all those guys who caught you, where are they? Huh. And she says, "No one, sir." Then Jesus says this. This ought to be a message to us. "Then neither do I condemn you," Jesus declared. "Go now and leave your life of sin." So obviously adultery is a sin. It's one of the big 10 that's listed in the Old Testament. Thou shalt not commit adultery. So we know that's a sin, obviously. And also, that guilt that you feel inside, that is also a little bing. Oh, that must be sin. So if ever you're doing something, I hope you stay away from adultery, absolutely. But even if you're caught, if you're lying, or if you're cheating on a test, or you're like Googling the answers to a question on a thing, and you're Googling the answers, Emma, in the middle of a game or something. She actually did that. That's why I call her Emma Google, because it was actually really funny. We were just playing a game, but it was super funny. But you get caught, and you feel that guilt inside. Okay, that's a little sign that maybe this is actually God speaking to me, telling me this is sin. So anyway, he says to her, "I'm not going to condemn you either, but go and leave your life of sin." He doesn't say, "I'm just not going to condemn you. You can go do whatever you want." He does not say that, because God does pay attention. He does know about sin. But he forgives her, and he gives her a mission and a plan, and says, "Go forth and go be better. Be better." Anyway, I don't know about you guys. How do you feel like she might have felt being brought in front of all these people, including Jesus? What do you think she felt like? That's exactly what I was thinking. It's embarrassing. Just to the very core. Embarrassing. There are some other words that I thought of. Guilty, obviously. Ashamed. Overwhelmed, yeah. Overwhelmed with just guilt, whatever. Yeah. The truth is that we're all sinners. We all do sin. And we're all sinners. And we have blown it in one way or another. But this is where Jesus comes in, even in our life. And I want you to hear the message that he gave to this woman who was busted big time. Her life probably ruined in a lot of different ways. And yet he says, look, I'm not going to continue to condemn you, but go and leave your life of sin. So, anyway, there are tons of other times that the Bible records situations just like this, where someone is busted, or they're really in trouble, and Jesus comes alongside, and he does something major in their life, and he forgives them. and he gives them a whole new mission and a whole new direction. John chapter 8. What does this story from Jesus' life tell you about who Jesus is? Who is Jesus? What does this story tell you about who Jesus is?
He's forgiving.
He's forgiving, yes. Good. Anybody else? What does this tell you about Jesus? I think we've kind of talked about it. He's forgiving, he's loving, he's compassionate. On the screen, he's compassionate, and he loves even sinners. Like you or me, he loves us.
He's really smart and can see through people,
Yes.
like what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah, he sees through us. And yet, you know, the Bible says he knows everything, and still, you know what? He still loves you, and he would still die for you if you were the only person in the world. He loves you that much. He still loves you. He's still compassionate. He would have died for you if you were the only person in the world. Anyway.
Hey, so there you have it. We are so excited that you experienced nStudents Live together with us. And we do want to encourage you, if you can make it out on Sunday mornings to the End Zone, we would love for you to be a part of this. Again, it's every Sunday at 11 o'clock or right here on YouTube at 7 o'clock Eastern Time every Wednesday night. But also what we have home groups that meet every Sunday night as well. We have some middle school groups and some high school groups. So we'd love for you to be a part of those as well. All you have to do to find out the locations and the times for those is to go to newlife.church/students. All right, we're so excited again that you join us. Let me pray, and then we'll be done for today. Dear Jesus, thank you so much for today. Thank you for who you are, and thank you for what you are doing in our midst. Lord, I ask that as we move on from here, that you would encourage us and you would challenge us and that you would continue to nudge us in what you want us to take away from the message that TJ shared with us tonight. So, Lord, we thank you, we praise you, and we protect you. And we ask that you protect us in everything we do. It's your name we pray. Amen. Have a great week, everyone, and we'll see you later.